Finding balance between the interests of Ukrainians and requirements of the International Monetary Fund. It's the main thing for successful cooperation with the IMF. This was stated by Chairman of the Financial Committee of the Parliament, Danilo Hetmantsev. According to him, one of the controversial issues is the forced regulation of gas prices for the population by the Cabinet of Ministers. After all, the fund wants the prices for energy resources to be set by the market. A fixed price for gas is a deviation from market conditions, and we understand that. But this is the question of the balance between the interests of our people and the interests of building a free market. We cannot build a free market in such a way. That is why the government took such a compromise decision. That is a deviation from market conditions, but this measure is temporary. Another issue that prevented the IMF mission from making a positive decision on the new tranche was the problem with the anti-corruption infrastructure. The situation developed after the scandalous decision of the Constitutional Court of Ukraine. On October the 27th, it removed some of the powers of the National Agency for the Prevention of Corruption and cancelled the punishment for false declaration. The parliament has already renewed some anti-corruption norms, but solution of the problem requires more time, representatives of the Office of the President of Ukraine say. This issue is absolutely solvable. Moreover, the head of state, President Zelensky, constantly monitors that the legislative process is ensured. By the way, the Verkhovna Rada has already received several bills signed by the president, which relate to the moments of restoring the anti-corruption structure. The National Bank of Ukraine explains that the work with the IMF continues between missions. The fund constantly monitors the decisions taken in the country. The program of cooperation with the International Monetary Fund, which we signed in 2020, has a number of key tasks that Ukraine should fulfill first. That is, the so-called structural reforms. We should elaborate a European-style judicial, tax, customs and law enforcement systems in Ukraine. The Ukrainian side expects the new IMF mission to be able to start working in Ukraine in the middle of the year. We need to follow the situation now. It is better, of course, to receive this tranche before September. The IMF is a very important strategic partner. It is a marker for many investors. But the IMF itself is not enough to develop the country. Everything should be done at the same time. A program with the IMF, investments with other countries and home investments are necessary as well. According to Ukrainian top officials and experts, even if the IMF doesn't provide Ukraine with a single tranche by the end of the year, it would not cause significant problems for the country's economy. We will be able to live without the IMF. Moreover, all Ukraine's obligations will be fulfilled. Commitments made to creditors to repay the debt will also be fulfilled. We have enough foreign exchange reserves worth more than $29 billion. We have the stable national currency as well as macro-financial stability. And undoubtedly, the International Monetary Fund's tranche will make things easier. The International Monetary Fund approved a standby program for Ukraine in summer of 2020. It will continue for 18 months and will involve lending in the amount of about $5 billion. The first tranche, more than $2 billion, has already been allocated. Another $3 billion could come to Ukraine already this year. Reported by Vadim Kramer and Yulia Krychkova, UATV News.